Yes.
So important, but yeah, it is right on my wrist. So yeah, number 2, plan B.
Sounds good. And we will get to the downward dog. I still want to do that. There's things we can do. Right. And part of the reason I'd prefer to wait a little while is because we can do a lot of great things with a downward dog at the wall. But if we don't have a wall here, and that way you're not putting any weight on your wrist. So that's what I wanted to avoid. So yeah.
And like in Todd's classes, some of them, they want this, gift thing, and
yes. Yes.
Just can't do that.
Yes. So just avoid putting the weight on them. So yeah, there's things we can do with the chair to make it work too, but I think it's probably a good idea. That was what I was leaning towards.
Plan B.
Yes, plan B.
So.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. All righty then. Yeah. Yeah, and they're all brand new tanks too. So I've got a block and straps here, and a blanket. The blanket's not totally necessary. It can make your seated position a little more comfortable, but otherwise definitely want some blocks and a strap. If you don't have blocks or a strap, you could always use a book or a box that's around 3 to 4 inches thick. That works really nicely. For a strap, you could use a belt or a scarf or a tie, just anything you have in your house. And you'll just keep those to the side for now. Today, I do want to start in Shavasana, lying on your back. So whenever you're ready, you'll make your way to lying on your back. And maybe that's where the blanket comes into play to let you rest your head on that, or maybe a small pillow. That would work too. But just make your way down, lying down. And feet can be in any comfortable position. Maybe they're bent. Maybe they're out long. Maybe they're a butterfly. Any position that feels good to you. And now just breathe your natural breath. So you're not changing your breath in any way. You allow the breath to flow in and flow out. When thoughts come in, and they will, go ahead and just return your attention back to your breath. It's always easier said than done, but as many times as you notice your thoughts wandering, bring your attention back to your breath, and this is how we train your brain. Notice which body parts are touching the floor. And now do a little bit of a body scan. Bring your attention to your head, your neck, and your face. Do you notice anything happening in your head, neck, and face? Any sensations, good or bad? Without judging it, just notice. And next, your attention comes to your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, hands, and your chest. Notice this area now. Notice what happens as you breathe. What do those parts of your body do when you're breathing in and out? And again, do you feel sensations, positive or negative, without judging? Just notice. And bring your attention to your abdomen and your back. Do you have any sensations here? What's happening as you breathe? And now your attention moves to your hips and your thighs. Any sensations that are calling you? And move your attention, your awareness down now to your knees, your calves, and your feet. What's happening with your feet right now? Are they just rested, falling as they please? Or maybe they're planted on the mat. Is there any discomfort or sensation happening in this part of your body? And now you'll spend a couple of breaths just going over your entire body one more time. And notice those areas of sensation, any areas that feel particularly sore, particularly uncomfortable, or any areas that feel particularly relaxed. Let's do 2 more breaths, just being aware of what's happening in your body. Good. Now we're going to do what's called extended exhale. So you're going to inhale for 4 seconds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, then pause, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Do that twice more on your own. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold your breath, retain. And exhale for 8 seconds. And hold for 4. Last time. Inhale. And hold. Exhale, 8. And hold. Good. Then just relax and release. Maybe you wiggle your shoulders and your hips a little bit. Good. Next, you're going to keep your feet planted on the mat, but check in with your spine. You really want your spine to just feel natural. There should be a slight arch where your low back is lifting up off the mat. We want that. Good. Then you're going to take your right knee, keep your knee bent, and lift your right knee towards your chest. Good. And then send your right leg. Let's make this a little bit of a core, a little bit of a leg workout. So from here, take your leg out nice and long, tap your heel down on the mat, and come back into your chest. Get your knee as close as it goes without losing the arch of your back. Straighten your leg out and tap your heel. Inhale, bring into the chest. Exhale, extend, tap your heel. Remember to keep the arch of your spine neutral and natural. In the chest. Exhale, tap your heel. And do 2 more. Inhale to chest. Exhale, tap your heel. Good. Then bring your knee back into chest, and you're going to hold right behind your hamstring and just see if there's a little more room to pull your knee in towards your chest. And then hold right there. Now from there, you're going to straighten your right leg any amount, but keep your leg close to your body. Your knee can still have a generous bend. Take one more breath and see if you can straighten your leg just a little bit more. And see if it goes just a little bit straighter. 2 more breaths. Good. Then bend your right knee, set your right foot down. And we'll go for the left side. So you're going to take your left knee into chest. Keep the arch of your spine. Check in. Is that arch still there? Good. Then on your next exhale, lengthen your left leg and tap your heel down on the ground. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, long leg, tap your heel. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, tap your heel. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, tap your heel. Inhale, knee to chest. Keep checking in with the arch of your spine. 3 more times on your own. Exhale to lengthen. Inhale, knee to chest. 2 more. Good. Then bring your left knee into your chest and keep that arch of your spine. Then you pull your knee in a little closer, as close as it can come to your body without losing the arch of your spine. And then straighten your leg any amount. Let's start with a small amount first, though. And breathe. Good, and then maybe on your next exhale, you can straighten your leg just a little bit more. Check in with the arch of your spine. Do you still have that arch happening? Good, then bend your left knee, set your leg down. Nice. So now you're going to go ahead and bring both knees into chest. And we're going to try that heel tapping down with both legs this time while you keep the arch of your spine. So maybe you can place one or both hands right underneath your spine just to keep your spine where it's at. Or if that's not working for you, then you can just keep it here and pay attention. So either just pay attention with your hands out or place your fingers right underneath that arch. Now you're going to stretch both legs out long, tap your toes down, working your core muscles, working your legs. Inhale, knees to chest. Exhale, tap your heels. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, tap your heel. Good. Last time. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale, tap your heel. Good. Then you'll come back to both knees into chest. Release your hands and maybe grab onto your knees. You can allow the arch to come out of your back. Now your back is fully flattened on the mat and you're going to rock side to side. Let's just give your low back a little massage after that core work. And then you'll come back to center. You're going to plant both feet down, and if you don't have your strap handy, go ahead and get your strap a little bit closer. Oh, good, you got one. Good. So if you have a strap or a tie, anything works, a scarf, belt. Now you're going to bend your right knee and place the strap right around the ball of your foot. So knee is nice and close to your body. Really bring your bent knee towards your chest and body. Again, without losing that lower arch. So just check in there, get it as close as you can without losing the arch. Once you find that, straighten your leg any amount. Any amount. Good. And your left leg can stay planted or you can stretch it out long, totally up to you. Either way is great. Next, what you'll do is you'll begin to allow your right foot to fall to your right side, but really keep the orientation of your foot. So the knife edge side of your foot is parallel to the floor. You're not sort of pointing your toes to the floor or pointing your toes towards your body. Either way, we want it nice and parallel. Good. And notice what's happening in your inner thighs. Notice how that's working and engaged now. Keep the arch in your spine. And then you come back to center and allow your right foot now to fall across your body. Keep your foot in its orientation. Notice what's happening in your outer thigh now. And then you come back to center. Now you should feel this right behind your leg and your hamstring. Then allow your leg to fall to the right once again. Inner thigh engages. Breathe, your low back still lifted. Natural arch. And come back to center. And then your right leg towards or across your body. Good. Now you come back to center and you're going to pull your right leg towards your body. Maybe your knee bends a little bit more. As long as you keep the arch of your spine lifted. Good. One more breath. And now you'll come back to center, release the strap from your right foot, set your right foot down. And then you're gonna bend your left knee, get the strap on the ball of your left foot now. Same thing, right knee can stay bent, foot planted, or it can stretch out long, up to you. Once you have your foot in the strap, check in with the arch of your spine, make sure that's lifted, and then straighten your leg any amount. Good. Notice what's happening in the back of your leg, the bulk of your hamstring. Then you're going to allow your left leg to fall to the left, again, without letting the foot turn. Keep the foot's orientation parallel to the ground. Notice what's happening on your inner thigh. Good, and then you'll come back to center and allow your left leg now to go across your body. Just a very subtle movement and feel the engagement of your outer hamstring. Good, then come back to center. And once again, allow your left foot to fall out to the left. And hold. Keep the arch of your spine. And then you come back to center. And now left foot across your body. Feel the engagement of your outer thigh. Arch of your spine is still lifted. Good. Then you come back to center. You're going to release your left foot, bend your knee, and set it down. Now you're going to roll onto one side, and you're going to prop yourself up and then into tabletop position. So from tabletop, we're going to do some cow-cat, but when we're doing this cow-cat, really think about what's happening in your pelvis and your sits bones. We're going for wide leg forward fold a little bit later, so we're really looking at the sits bone and what's happening there. On your inhale, you're going to lift your sits bones up to the ceiling and allow your belly to drop. If you'd like, you can lift your chin to bring in a cow pose. Then you're going to exhale, start from your tailbone, start from your sits bones. Move your sits bones down towards your knees as far as they go. As your back arches, then you'll bring your neck to your chin, or your chin to your chest. And then exhale, sits bones up to the ceiling. And take a breath in and out. I got us off on the breath there. Good. Another breath in. Then exhale, move the sits bones down towards your knees. And slowly bring chin to chest. Then inhale, sits bones up to the ceiling, drop your belly. Good. Exhale, sits bones to the knees. This will be the last one. Then inhale back to a neutral spine. Good. I'm going to turn this way. So from your neutral spine, now really knit your front ribs in. Feel that engagement. Nice long spine. And you're going to take your left leg out to the side. And really notice what's happening in your leg here. I'm going to move out of the way. So if you roll onto the inner arch of your foot, the inner side, you notice how your knee falls downward and your hip falls down. If you really press in the outer arch of your foot, it lifts that knee, lifts the hip up. This is what we want. We want that rotation of the thigh going, what would that be? Internally, and the knee lifted up. Good. Next, what you're going to do is plant your left hand just a little above your shoulder, a little ahead of your shoulder. Keep the outer edge of your foot pressing in. Then reach your right arm out in space. And you're going to exhale, thread your arm towards your feet. Then inhale, reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread your arm. Inhale, up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread your arm. Inhale, up to the ceiling. You'll do 2 more of these. Inhale, up. Last one. Really press into the outer arch of your foot. Good. Then you're going to come back to your tabletop position. And then you'll take your right foot out, plant it on the mat, and check in there. Notice that when you're on the inner arch, your knee falls in, right? Just notice that. Press to the outer arch of your foot. Good. And hold that for a breath or 2. And then you're going to bring your right hand ahead of your shoulder. Left arm goes out to the side. Inhale and exhale, thread your arm underneath. Inhale, arm goes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread. Inhale, up. Exhale, thread. Inhale, up. Exhale, thread. 2 more. Last one. Good. Then you'll come back to your tabletop position. Good. And then you're going to walk your hands back towards your knees and bring yourself to a standing position. Good. Now from here, we're going to work with the forward fold a little bit. So really want to fold from your hip. So go ahead and palpate, feel your hip points here. And then you want to keep your feet about hip distance to start right now. Knees can have a soft or a generous bend, whatever's most comfortable for you. Once we fold forward, you're really getting into a big hamstring stretch. So if you need your knees bent, have them bent. So feel your hip points and then fold forward from your hip points. Good. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Then bend your knees generously and bring yourself up to standing. Good. So that's the hips and the back, what's happening there. Now let's check in with the pelvis. So this time you're going to, you can keep your hands on your hips if that helps. But this time what you're going to do is allow the action to start in your sits bones. So I want you to let your sits bones lift up, up, up to the ceiling. Knees can be bent again. And when your sits bones can no longer lift up, then you round your spine and fold forward. Good. And now you're going to inhale, halfway lift. And from here, bring your sits bones down towards your knees, down towards your heels. Use those back muscles to bring your body up. Good. Do you feel the difference? Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, excellent. So now what we'll do is just a tiny bit more leg work. If you have a block, this is great. If you don't have a block or you're really worried about balance or anything, you could always have a wall or a chair by you, and I'll demonstrate both. Or you could just keep your foot on the floor instead of your foot on one block, okay? So maybe just try it and see how it feels to start. You're going to take one block and you're going to let's step your left foot on it to start. Good. And from there, you want your right foot to be about the height of the block. And actually, whichever foot's standing on the block should be the one where the hand has something to hold, right? Good. So from here, you're going to take your right leg and bring it out away from your body without adjusting this side, so without falling over or in. Good. And come back towards center. And then take your leg out. This could always be done on the floor. That works too. Back to center. And out. Back to center. Last time. And out. Good. Then hold right there. Notice what's happening in your outer thigh. This is like half a wide leg forward fold. Then bring your right leg back. Set it down. Maybe give your knees a nice little shake. And wiggle. Good. Then you're going to make adjustments so that you can stand on your right foot on the block. Good. And then bring your left foot up to block height. And now you're going to take left foot away and back. So in this pose, really make sure that your knife edge side of your foot, the outer edge of your foot, is parallel to, say, either your yoga mat or the side wall. So you're not sort of turning your toes outward or inward. Good. And out and in. 2 more times. Out and in. Last time. Out and hold. Notice what's happening in your thigh. Good. And then come back and release your foot off the block. Give your legs a nice little shake. And I'm going to move this. Good. Okay. So now I'm going to have everybody go ahead and bring your legs wide. And once you have your legs wide, play with your stance a little bit. So remember, we don't want you to be falling on the inner arches of your foot, allowing your knees to go in. We really want to press the outer arches of the foot and allow your knees and hips to lift outward, right? So make adjustments to your stance based on that. If you're too wide, it's going to be very hard to press in the outer arches of your foot. If you're too narrow, maybe your inner arch is lifting up, and we don't really want that either. We want you to be right where your feet are flat, outer edges pressing. Good. Once you find your stance, go ahead and bring hands to your hips. Lengthen in your spine. Big breath in. And then exhale, you're going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling, just like we did in the forward fold. Lift, 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 lift your hips up. Your sits bones going up to the ceiling. When they can no longer move up, then you round your spine and fold forward. And maybe your fold forward looks more like this. That's okay too. Work with your limitations. It's going to look different in everybody's body. Good. Then inhale, halfway lift. And now send your sits bones towards your heels, towards your knees. Use your legs to pull your body up. Good. We'll do one more. So let's go ahead and toe heel your feet together. And we'll give your legs a nice little shake. And then you're going to take your blocks in front of you. Good. And find your stance. So remember how to find that width. Press into the outer sides of your feet to find out how wide you can stand. And if you like your hands on your hips, maybe they start there, or maybe they just head straight down for the blocks. Remember to lift your sits bones up, 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 up. And bring your hands down to the mat. Once your sits bones can't lift up any higher, then you round your spine. Now maybe your blocks are on the highest level. There's 3 different levels to these blocks. Or you can take them down a notch. Or down once again. And maybe you're here. Again, these are all correct. None of them's better than the other. It's just different in different people's body. Maybe this feels really good and you have a little more room. You want to remove the blocks and put your hands on the ground. And I'm going to give you the option to stay here. This is such a great place to stay. Really great work for your body. Or you can take those blocks on their medium setting and stretch your arms out as wide or wider than your toes. This is like that stretch we did on your knees when we thread the needle. 2 more breaths. Good. Now go ahead and bring your hands up towards your hips. Inhale, lift halfway. And then sits bones down to your heels, down to your knees as you rise. Good. Now from here, this is a really great way to get into Warrior One. We talk a lot about Warrior One and the different stance. So we're going to get into this pose and then feel how it feels in our bodies and decide if it needs adjustments. You're going to take your left foot and point your left toes towards the short edge of your mat. Everything else in your body stays the same for now. Good. From here, now you're going to take your right foot and angle it inwards about a 45-degree angle. Now your hips are still open because we were just in wide leg forward fold, open hips. Now warrior one is a closed hip or square hip. So attempt to spin your hips around. Right now, because we came at this from wide leg forward fold, your heels should be about in line. Yep, right? So this is going to feel much different than, say, hip width legs. Okay, so maybe you feel more comfortable in hip width, but just see how it feels before you make that adjustment. So try to turn your hips towards the front of the room. Good. If your hips aren't wanting to go, turn your chest and see how much your hips will follow your chest. Then bend your front knee to get it right over your heel. Now, if your back leg is really straining and not feeling so good because of its orientation, you can step that foot out to make it a wider stance and now see where you're at. Your hips have a lot more mobility when your feet are hip distance versus feet in one line. Good. Now from here, inhale, reach your arms up and hold. Then find that core engagement. Knit your front ribs in. Good. Press into the knife edge side of your back foot just like we did in wide leg forward fold. Same time you press in your back foot, knife edge side, press into the front heel. Then imagine you're drawing your heel back towards your other foot. Your front heel is now, it's not moving, but energetically you're drawing your heel back towards your back leg. You want to keep the engagement in the outer side of your back foot. Good. And keep the engagement of your core. 2 more breaths. Very nice. Next, you're going to straighten your front knee, any amount, and then you hinge from your hips and fold forward. Maybe if your block's nearby, you take your block to raise the height of the floor. If you liked that in the forward fold, then this is a great option. It can be at any of the 3 heights. Or maybe you can reach the floor, up to you. Now this is a nice intense stretch for the back of your calf on your front leg, your quads, and your hamstrings. Good. Then inhale, now halfway lift. And hold. Nice long spine. Good. Then exhale, fold. Then inhale, come back to your warrior one. And now you're going to pivot on the ball of your back foot, high crescent lunge. Good. Now from high crescent lunge, go ahead and lower your back knee down. Tricky. It is. Yeah, that's some advantage of socks, right? Okay, so from here, let's take hands to heart center. Good. And then you're just going to move with this one here. So bring your knee straight-ish and back to bent. Straight-ish, back to bent. 2 more times. Good. Last one. Bring it back to low crescent lunge. And then really press your right hip forward while trying to keep your left thigh parallel to the mat. And your knee should not cross over your heel. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Make adjustments as needed. I am always adjusting my poses, always moving my feet and arms just a little bit to make my alignment that much better. Last breath. Good. Now you're going to send your hips back in space and begin to straighten your knee just a little bit more. Maybe your heel or your toes lift up off the mat. Good. And from here, keep your leg out. You can put hands on your hips or on a block if you need a little support. You're going to bend your knee, but keep your hips where they are and straighten. Bend your knee and straighten. Bend your knee and straighten. 2 more times. Last one. Good. Now from here, you're going to go ahead and hinge at your hips and fold forward. Knee can have a slight bend in it, or it could be generously bent. Work with your limits. We always want to challenge yourself in yoga, but not cause pain. So soreness, discomfort is okay as long as it's tolerable. No pinching, no pain. 2 more breaths. Good. Then you'll come back to your low lunge. And you're going to curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, and step your foot to meet your right foot to meet your left, forward fold. Maybe you like to sway side to side. This can be a really good release for the outer thighs. Two more breaths. Good, then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Good. Then you're going to turn and get ready for one more wide leg forward fold. So find your stance, press in the outer arches of your feet, and make adjustments as needed. And let's bring blocks to the ground here on any height level you prefer. I'm going to lower mine just a little, actually. Good. And then maybe your hands start on your hips, and you're going to fold forward. Really think lift your sits bones up to the ceiling. When your sits bones can no longer lift up, then you round your spine and bring hands to your blocks or to your mat. So elbows should be bent wherever you are. So sometimes that's why the highest setting on the blocks is nice, so that you can have those bent elbows. Two more breaths. Good, then inhale, halfway lift. And now you're going to pull your sits bones down towards your heels, towards your knees as you rise. Good. Now from here, you're going to pivot your right toes, pointing towards the short edge of your mat. Setting up for warrior one. So remember, your hips start out wide here. So this is actually a nice warrior two stance, but we're going to turn that into warrior one by pivoting the back foot 45 degrees in, and just see how that feels with your hips. Are your hips able to swing forward, looking in the front of the room, as if you have lights on your hips and they're pointing straight, those lights or laser beams are pointing straight at the wall in front of you. If that's not there for you, just stay here and play with it for a moment, even if you're turned towards the side, and then start moving your chest and see what happens to the rest of your body. Do your hips want to follow? If there's still a lot of strain or not feeling good in this left leg. Then you can go ahead and widen your stance. Then see where you can turn your hips to get them forward. Front ribs knitted in. And maybe now you can lift your arms. Now keep your front knee right over your heel. And press into the outer arch of your back foot, the outer edge, just like we did in the wide leg forward fold. Good, one more breath. And then you're going to straighten your front knee any amount. And now you're going to think lift your sits bones up to the ceiling as you fold forward. Ooh. Maybe you bring your hands to the block at any height, or maybe your hands can make it to the floor. And again, maybe you look more like a halfway lift. That's fine too. Just find what works in your body. One more breath. Then come back to your warrior one. Bend your front knee. Arms up. Press into the outer edge of your back foot one more time. Then inhale and exhale. Good. Now high crescent lunge. You're going to pivot onto the ball of your back foot. And then you lower your back knee down. And hands can come to heart center. Good. Once you've made your way down, you're just going to straighten your front knee a little bit, just barely, and back to bent. Straight-ish, and bent. Straight-ish, and bent. Two more times. And bend. Last one. Good. Then really press your left hip forward. At the same time, you keep your right hamstring parallel to the mat. And knee, again, right over your heel or right over your ankle. Good. And if you used a block last time for the half split, you'll bring a block by your side. You're going to straighten your front knee and lift your toes. Good. Then you're just going to bend the knee and straighten. Bend your knee and straighten. Bend your knee and straighten. Two more times now. Knee and straighten. Last one. Good. Now from here, you're going to go ahead and hinge at your hips, lift your sits bones up as you fold forward. Knee can stay bent as generously or smallly as you like. Feel what's happening in the back of your legs. Good. Now you're going to inhale, halfway lift. And then you're going to send your sits bones back to the back of your mat. Sit down and take both legs out long. Good. Then from here, you're going to take your right foot up and over your left. And your left hand goes back behind you, right arm up. Inhale, really lengthen up first, then exhale, right elbow to the inside of your right knee and twist. Two more breaths. Good. You come back through center, take your right hand back behind you, left arm up, Inhale, lengthen first. And then exhale, left elbow or hand to the outside of your right knee as you twist. You want your twist to come from like your top 2 ribs and up. So actually when we twist, your neck does majority of the work. If you have neck issues, then we just want to avoid twisting your neck. Otherwise, it's going to be a very subtle twist if we don't use our necks. Last breath. And come back to center. Good. Now you'll take legs into a butterfly shape. And go ahead and hold onto your feet, lengthen in your spine, and then just fold forward, very subtle, very gently. Keep that spine nice and long. There's nothing wrong with a rounded spine, but for this purpose right here, we're going to keep it long. One more breath. Good. Then you come back up to seated. Stretch both legs out long. And now you're going to take your left foot over your right hand back behind you. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, left elbow to the inside of your left knee and twist. One more breath. And then you come back to center. Send your left hand back behind you, right arm up long, lengthen first. And then exhale, right elbow to the outside of your knee, or maybe it's your right hand. You could also hook with your elbow, that's good too. But remember to twist from your chest up. Good, then you come back to center. Straighten your left leg out, give your legs maybe a little shake. And then you're going to bend your knees up towards the top of your mat and hold on right behind your hamstrings. Make sure your strap is somewhat near and available to you. Then you're going to tuck your chin towards your chest and really allow your spine to round. So now we're in that cat pose, the angry cat pose. And you're going to slowly lower yourself all the way down. Use your core muscles. Using them a different way when you come down with a rounded back versus a straight back. So just notice if you can see any differences. Good. Once you get back down to the mat, your feet are going to be planted. Maybe lift and lower your hips to get yourself nice and centered. And again, bring in that arch of your spine. We want the arch right now. And you're going to grab onto your strap. Bend your left leg in toward your chest. Put the strap right around the ball of your foot and straighten your leg any amount. From here, we're going to see if everything we did created just a little bit more flexibility today. So go ahead and pull your right leg towards your face, towards your body, without losing the arch of your spine. Once you've pulled it in as far as it goes, release the strap, but try to keep your leg right where it is. You might lose a little bit. That's okay. Just try to hold it where it was. 2 more breaths. Good. Go ahead and grab onto your strap again. And you're going to allow your right foot now to fall out towards the right side. Keep your foot parallel to the floor. Take your leg out as far as it goes. And then let go of the strap and hold it in its place. And we'll hold for about 2 breaths. Good. Now you can hold onto your strap again and bring it back to center. Then allow your right leg to cross over your body. Keep the edge of your foot parallel. And once it can no longer go any further, release the strap. Hold your foot right there. So when you're using the strap, that's what's called a passive stretch. So that stretch is helping you. Now that we're not holding the strap, this is nice and active. Go ahead and grab onto that strap and bring it back to center. Good. Then bend your knee. Send your right foot back down. Remove the strap. And now you're going to take your left foot into the strap. And straighten your leg any amount. Once you've straightened the leg, you're going to pull your foot towards your face or your body without losing the lower arch today. And then pull it in a little bit further if you can. And now release the strap, but try to keep your foot where it is. So now you're using your muscles of your leg rather than the muscles of your arm to pull on the strap. Shaking and trembling is perfectly normal. It means your body's doing its job. And grab onto the strap once again. Then you're going to allow your foot to fall out to the left. Keep your foot in its orientation. Keep the arch in your spine. Once it can no longer go any further out, let go of the strap and hold it there. 2 breaths. Good. Then grab onto the strap. Bring it back to center. And now allow your foot to cross over your body as far as it goes. Then let go of the strap. Use your muscles to keep your leg there. Last breath. Good. Then bring your leg back to center. Remove the strap. Relax your left leg down. Plant it on the mat. Then you're going to bring both knees into chest. Your back goes nice and flat now, and then rock side to side. Good. And then you'll come back to center. Now you're going to go ahead and lift your feet up towards the ceiling, legs up the wall. Knees can be bent or straightened, whatever's comfortable. Arms resting by your sides or maybe on your belly. Two more breaths. Good. Next, you're going to bring your legs back down to the mat, feet planted. And then as you plant your feet with them touching, feet and knees are touching now. Good. Arms go out into a cactus shape. And now you're going to slowly open your knees out into butterfly shape, but go so slowly that if someone was watching you right now, they could barely be able to tell you were moving. And notice what muscles are turning on in your legs. What's happening? Good, nice and slow, all the way to open. And once you get to open, go ahead and bring your knees back up nice and slow. Again, as if someone was watching you, they would not know you were moving. Good. And once you get your knees back up to meet, you're going to separate your feet about mat distance, so right on the edge of your mat. And next, just allow your knees to fall inward towards each other. You counter stretch to butterfly pose. If that's too much on your glutes or hamstrings, you can walk your feet in a little closer. One more breath. Good. Then bring knees into chest. Squeeze your knees, and you're going to pick up your head, squeeze every muscle in your body, squeeze your arms, your feet, your legs, back, chest, glutes, toes, faces furrowed, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze every muscle in your body. And then exhale, send it all down, long and wide. Final Shavasana. If you need any props here, bring those props, maybe like a blanket or a pillow. Maybe you like a little eye cover. Any props that are good for you. And now just take a few moments to breathe your natural breath. Notice where it is your breath enters. Is your breath steady or is it irregular? Is it fast or slow? Deep or shallow? Does it come with ease or much effort? And your next inhale, can you feel the air travel down your throat into the pathways of your lungs? And now I want you to imagine a bright white light encapsulating your body. And every time you breathe in, this white light enters and brings you relaxation and healing. The white light knows where it needs to go to heal. You don't have to tell it or direct it. You just breathe. And we're going to stay here a few more breaths. And now you'll begin to awaken your body. Breathe a little deeper. Wiggle fingers and toes. Rock your head from side to side. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll over onto one side. Take a minute to hug your knees in and be grateful for your legs, your strong legs that have carried you through so much. Your hamstrings that have given you flexibility and ease in your yoga poses. And then prop yourself up to a comfortable seat, eyes closed if possible. And then you'll inhale, arms overhead, palms meet. Reverse your palms face out and exhale, press the air around you away. Notice which senses come up for you. Do you notice the air around you? Are any senses ignited as your arms move through this air? Good. Then hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to be your guide. I honor and appreciate the light inside of you. Namaste.
Yeah, that's great. It's amazing what a workout that really is.
Yes, yes, I know.
It's great though.
Good. Yeah. So it's nice. I've been liking to do it that way, really break poses down. But then today I thought, let's integrate it now and just get it really, so we remember.
felt it all over.
Good.
And, so yeah, it was a workout even though you're hardly moving it.
Yeah. Good. Good, good. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next